Let me tell you something most people don't want to hear, especially weak men. It's better to be feared than loved. Not because fear is cruel, but because it lasts. Love is soft and nice, but it's fragile.
People love you when you give them what they want, when you make them feel good. But the second you stop being useful to them, that love disappears. Love is conditional. Fear is instinctual. Love relies on approval. Fear commands it. When people love you, they expect you to keep showing up, to keep pleasing them. But when they fear you, they watch their step. They measure their words. Fear doesn't need reminders. It lives in people's minds, rent-free. Fear is different. It sticks. It cuts deep, and it stays. When someone fears you, they don't forget you. Even when you mess up, the man who's loved is respected until he makes one mistake. The man who's feared, people still think twice before crossing him, even after 10 mistakes. Why? Because fear doesn't ask for forgiveness. It doesn't beg to be understood. It demands caution. Just look at history. The rulers who were loved, people like Caesar, Louis XVI, Gorbachev, they were adored, they tried to please everyone, and what happened? They were betrayed, overthrown, some even executed. But the ones who were feared, they were remembered, not for being nice, but for being powerful, for being untouchable, for being the storm that no one dared to challenge. If you want to be strong, stop trying to be liked. Stop apologizing for decisions others are too scared to make. Let people hate you, but let them never forget what you're capable of. Walk into a room and let your presence feel like a loaded weapon, even in silence. I'm not saying go out and be cruel for no reason. That's what fools do. Real fear isn't about chaos. It's about control. Controlled chaos, tactical silence, calculated power. You want your enemies to whisper your name when no one's listening. You want your friends to respect you, but always keep a little distance. You want even the people closest to you to wonder, what happens if I betray him? That doubt, that hesitation, that's your shield, your sword, your power. The most dangerous man in the room doesn't yell, doesn't brag, doesn't need to. His silence speaks louder than words. His stare makes people uncomfortable. And when he punishes, it's fast and final. Be feared not because you hurt people, but because they know you could. A scared dog barks. A lion doesn't have to. Be the lion. If you ever have to choose between fear and love, choose fear. Because love fades, fear stays. The man who's loved inspires loyalty and peace, but the man who's feared, he gets loyalty when everything's falling apart. The world isn't fair. People don't live by the values they preach, so why should you? Let them say you're harsh. Let them call you cold. Let them whisper behind your back. They'll still obey. Because deep down, people trust fear more than kindness. They'll smile at the nice guy, but they'll listen to the one they're scared to disappoint. This isn't cruelty, this is clarity, this is leadership, this is survival. Once you understand this, you'll stop chasing approval from sheep and start commanding respect from wolves. They'll tell you to be merciful. They'll say kindness wins hearts, but here's the truth. Mercy is a luxury for kings who've already made it. For those still rising, mercy is weakness, and the world eats weakness alive. People say they admire goodness, but they follow strength. They don't support the most moral, they follow the most dominant. So if you want to rise, learn this. Perception is a weapon. Reputation is a shield. Discipline is your crown. Let people believe you're capable of anything. Let your silence keep them nervous. Let your mercy feel like a king's gift, not a servant's plea, and never let them predict you. Unpredictability breeds fear. When people can't read you, they don't sleep well. When your allies aren't sure how you'll react, they don't betray you easily. The unpredictable man is dangerous, and the dangerous man is respected, even when he's hated. Let me give you an example. A ruler has a general who betrays him. What does he do? He punishes him publicly and harshly. People might think it's too much, but suddenly everyone else straightens up. They stop plotting, they stop whispering, because now they know betrayal has a price. Fear isn't about hurting people, it's about what they believe you might do. Once people fear you, your presence becomes a warning. You can sit silently and they'll sweat. You can smile and they'll question it. You can forgive, but only after they've begged. And when you punish, do it quickly. No hesitation, no second chances, no apologies. Kindness is remembered briefly. Power is remembered forever. That's power. That's presence. That's what it means to be feared and respected. Look, let's be real. Sometimes the most powerful move you can make is to act without warning. No threat, no dramatic build-up, no second chances, just clean, sharp action. That kind of move sends a clear message. It says, this is someone who doesn't flinch, and this is someone who doesn't let emotions cloud their judgment. This is someone who's always in control, and everyone knows it. Now, sure, people will say, but if you're feared, people will hate you. Yeah, maybe. But hatred, that's manageable. You can survive being hated. What you can't survive is being disrespected, being underestimated, being seen as weak. See, a man who's loved but not feared is the one they smile at while quietly planning to stab in the back. But the man who's feared, even if they don't like him, they stay cautious, they stay calculated, they never get too comfortable around him, and that's the point. Let's be honest, this world is full of actors, people who smile while plotting your downfall, people who dress nice, speak sweet, but move like snakes. In a world like that, kindness becomes a weakness. To survive, you have to be untouchable, not because you hurt people, but because they know you could. Your reputation must speak before you do. You let them know you're capable of ending them, then choose not to. That restraint, that's where real power lives. That's how legends are made. People won't always say it out loud, but they'll never forget what you're capable of. So don't show fear, don't beg, and definitely don't waste energy explaining yourself to people who aren't even on your level. Let them stay confused. Let them wonder why you're so calm. That calmness, it's not weakness. It's the silence before a storm. It's the quiet confidence of someone who knows exactly what they bring to the table. And when people know what you could do if pushed, they think twice before testing you. Fear is a fortress. It builds boundaries where kindness leaves doors wide open. It creates silence, distance, control, while compassion invites noise, confusion, and exploitation. When you walk into a room and the ones who used to mock you suddenly go quiet, that's not love, that's fear. And that silence is your victory. You're not here to be everyone's friend. You're not their therapist. You're not their emotional support system. You are a force, a storm in a suit, a kingdom behind a stair. Be feared, not because you're cruel, but because they know you could be. The possibility alone is what keeps them respectful. People love to say, it's better to be loved than feared. But that's the language of the soft. That's what the weak say to each other while they're getting used and discarded. Me, I choose fear every single time because love is fragile, it's emotional. It depends on moods, timing, and other people's feelings. One mistake, one disagreement, and it's gone. But fear sticks, fear lasts. Fear doesn't care about mood swings. It burns into memory. It becomes instinct. People stop loving you all the time. But fear, they don't forget fear. It lives in the back of their mind and controls how close they get. People betray the ones they love all the time. But fear kills betrayal before it even starts, because betrayal needs confidence, and fear takes that away. It drains the courage right out of them. Now, I'm not saying walk around being heartless. What I'm saying is be capable of destruction and known for restraint. Let your name carry weight. Let your presence be enough to shift a room's energy. Let people whisper, he doesn't talk much, but when he acts, it's final. That's real power. A man who is feared doesn't beg for respect. He demands it without saying a word. He doesn't yell for attention. He doesn't chase approval. His aura does the talking. When he enters a space, people adjust. They stand straighter. They think before they speak, not because they admire him, but because they know they can't predict him. And in that unpredictability lies the highest form of control. So let me ask you, do you want to be liked or do you want to be remembered? If you want applause, go perform. But if you want power, if you want respect, be the one whose name they don't say lightly. Be the storm they hope never arrives. And don't confuse fear with chaos. A feared man isn't unstable. He isn't emotional or reckless. He's precise. He warns once. If someone crosses the line, he responds quietly, surgically, and without fanfare. There's no drama, just consequences. And yeah, people might hate him, but they'll never challenge him again, because hatred with fear turns passive. It hides. It doesn't act. That's the win. A man who's only loved is a man who lives on eggshells. He sacrifices himself for approval. He plays nice, even when it costs him. But a feared man, he moves when he wants, how he wants. He doesn't ask for permission, he acts. While others hesitate, he decides. While they chase validation, he builds power. Let the world call you cold. Let them call you ruthless. Let them label you every name in the book, because while they're wasting time trying to understand you, you're making moves. While they gossip, you build. While they chase attention, you earn respect. Not through charm, but through present. And when the world crumbles, when everything falls apart, when things get real, they won't run to the nice guy. They won't call the one who made them feel safe. They'll call you, because even your enemies know when the pressure's on, only the one they fear can handle the storm. So here's the deal. You've got a choice to make. You can be loved and forgotten, or feared and remembered. You can be soft, agreeable, and overlooked, or you can be quiet, sharp, and untouchable. You can be the guy they cry over when you're gone, or the one they never even dare to mess with. Because here's the truth, the world doesn't reward kindness, it rewards strength. Not loud, showy strength, but quiet power that's felt, not explained. The kind of power that doesn't beg for validation, because it speaks for itself. Want to be free? Then be feared. Being feared isn't about yelling or being violent. It's about the feeling you leave behind. It's about the aura you carry. Real fear isn't always noisy, it's subtle. It lingers, it sticks in people's minds. The strongest people don't walk around proving themselves every day. They don't have to. They just make others believe, if I had to, I could. And that belief is enough to change how people treat you, speak to you, and move around you. So what actually makes someone feared? It's not the weapon in their hand, it's the possibility they might use it. That tension, that uncertainty, that myth you build around yourself. That's what makes people think twice. You become the figure people imagine in the dark, the one who doesn't flinch, the one who doesn't beg, the one who never loses control. And if someone betrays you, you don't rant. You just disappear from their life like they never existed. That's what leaves a mark. You want to be the one who controls the room? You don't need to be loud. You need to be the one no one wants to upset. The one whose silence says more than 1,000 threats. Fear isn't about being chaotic, it's about being calm and collected, yet dangerous. It's the ability to hold back, knowing that if you had to, you could unleash hell. When people look at you, make them wonder, what's he thinking? What's he planning? Should I be careful? Let them fill in the blanks. The man who's feared doesn't act often, but when he does, it's unforgettable. He doesn't get emotional. He doesn't react. He waits, watches, and strikes only when it matters. That's the power of strategy over drama, because real power is never reactive. It's calculated, it's precise, and that's where emotional men go wrong. They think being loud equals power, but it doesn't. Real fear isn't noise, it's reputation. It's the myth people build around you. It's the discipline, the silent, and when necessary, the cold and brutal action that makes people remember. Now let's get one thing straight. You don't have to be cruel to be feared, just capable. You don't need to hurt everyone. Just let people know that if they cross a certain line, there's no turning back. One disrespect, one betrayal, and it's over. No words, no drama, just silence and consequences. That's when fear takes root. Fear lives in unpredictability. If people always know what you're going to do, they'll learn how to push you, they'll test you. But if they're never quite sure what your silence means, if they think you're calm, hide something dangerous, they'll back off. They'll hesitate before crossing you. Not because they like you, but because they don't want to lose control around you. And that's where the real power is, control. The world doesn't belong to the sweet or polite. It belongs to the few who've mastered their emotion and who've learned how to influence everyone else's through fear. So become the myth. Be the shadow in the room. Don't defend yourself all the time. Don't explain every move. Don't let them know what you're planning. Keep them guessing. Let your calm make them nervous. Because in a world full of people begging to be liked, the one who is feared becomes untouchable. Here's the harsh truth. Kindness is forgettable, but fear lasts. You could spend your whole life being generous, respectful, and helpful, and people will forget the second it no longer benefits them. But the moment you make them fear you, you become unforgettable. Fear leaves a mark. Fear creates memory. They may not love you, they may not invite you, but they'll never ignore you. Fear is the shadow that lingers even when you're gone. It's the silence that echoes louder than applause. So ask yourself honestly, would you rather be loved for a little while or remembered forever? Machiavelli said it best. It's much safer to be feared than loved if you have to choose, because love is optional. Fear is not. Love depends on how people feel, and feelings change. Fear depends on your actions, your reputation, and how unpredictable you are. Love makes people feel comfortable. Fear makes them respect your boundaries. And in a world full of lies, betrayals, and fake affection, that respect is worth more than love. Don't be the guy who's easy to reach. easy to use, easy to forget. Be the one they hesitate to approach. Be the one they say, he doesn't talk much, but when he does, everyone listens. That's the kind of presence that moves things without having to show up. That's power. Don't let people guilt you into softening who you are. They'll call you cold. They'll say it's lonely. They'll say it's toxic. But you know what's really toxic? Being used, being walked all over, being told you're loved only to be left when you're no longer needed. Fear keeps the wrong people away. It protects you from the ones who only show up when it's easy for them. You have to be the storm they prepare for, not the sunshine they take for granted. That doesn't mean you hurt others. It means you could, and they know it. It's about controlling how people see you, control the image, and you control what happens next. And in today's world, fear isn't just physical, it's mental, it's emotional, it's digital. It's the ability to walk away without needing to explain. It's the way you hold your own space without begging for attention. It's the power to detach. That's real fear. That's real strength. When you reach that level, you'll feel it, the shift. People stop joking with you the same way. They choose their words more carefully. They call you intense, distant, mysterious, because they can't predict you anymore. And that's good. Let them wonder. Let them stay unsure, because what they don't understand, they fear. And the ones who are feared, they shape the world. The ones who are just liked, they get shaped by it.